This is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and millions of Americans deal with mental illness, but health officials say only about 4 out of 10 actually seek help. Joining us now, we're very pleased to have with us Dr. Renee Pentecoff. She is with the Suicide Prevention Collaborative, and we can talk about some of the issues. Why did you start the collaborative form? I don't know if you personally started it, but I thought you were part of it.
Yes, I did. So in 2010, in the spring of 2010, I live in Woodbury, and our community had several losses to suicide, young people especially. And as a parent in the community, as a community member, and as a professional psychologist in the community, it hit me personally really hard. I had teenagers knocking on my door in my neighborhood, asking for support, crying to me about the losses that they had experienced. There were 2 losses from the local high school within a couple months, and then there were some losses in the wider kind of Washington County area. And I work really closely with Dr. Shelley Strong from Central Pediatrics in Woodbury, and we got together and shared our heartache and our frustration and our grief with one another, and decided to do our best to pull community members together. So in June of 2010, I sent out mass emails, and about 35 caring, mostly professionals, showed up at Woodbury City Center. Woodbury donated their space for us to congregate and talk. And we did a huge brainstorming session about what the broader Washington County area had already, and what we needed to help support suicide prevention efforts and what we needed to do. And so that was when we partnered with Washington County Public Health and a lot of other caring professionals in the community, and young people. At the time, there was a Girl Scout troop that was really involved with us. They've now gone on to college since, but they helped us come up with our name, the Suicide Prevention Collaborative, and also helped us come up with a logo and a tagline, which is "Together It Gets Better."
So what is your main goal to have this collaborative? What do you hope will come out of it?
Well, it's been 9 years, and our main goal is to kind of threefold. First of all is to decrease stigma around mental illness. We know that because of the stigma of mental illness, many people don't get the help that they need.
As the stat says, only 4 out of 10 are seeking help.
Right. And then secondly, to increase the awareness of the signs of suicide.
And what are those signs of suicide?
Oh, there are multiple signs, but in general, I would say a change in mood, depression, sometimes substance abuse, and most typically, and not always, there are some verbal cues that people give. They say, "I don't want to be here anymore. Life is too hard for me. I can't manage it." Sometimes there's nonverbal cues like isolation. It really varies. One of the really exciting things that the Suicide Prevention Collaborative has been able to offer the community at large is a training called QPR, which, much like CPR, it's an acronym for Question, Persuade, and Refer. And we teach community members for free. The Suicide Prevention Collaborative, short SPC, pays for this training to community members, and they learn the warning signs. Because it is complicated, and there's not just kind of a set of warning signs.
And I think people feel like, I shouldn't say anything because that might encourage someone to do it, but it's quite the opposite, isn't it?
It is the opposite, Jody. It's absolutely the opposite. We get scared to say, "Jody, are you feeling suicidal?" The word is hard to come out of our mouths. And so actually, when we ask people if they're feeling suicidal, it gives them a sense of relief, right? Mm-hmm. And they feel less anxious and less, and they feel heard and connected with by the person asking the question, and actually does the opposite. So people do think if I ask the question, I'm going to plant that idea in someone's head, and that is actually not the case. The opposite happens.
So if they're interested in taking the training, how do they go about doing that quickly?
Yeah, what a great question. Next week, October 15th, we're offering a free training at Woodbury High School. 7:30, SPC is doing that training. I'll be leading it with a colleague of mine, Robin Jensen, Dr. Robin Jensen. But if you want to set a date for the training, you can email me, or you could go on our SPC website.
So
Okay.
that's the Suicide Prevention Collaborative
Yep,
website.
Suicide Prevention Collaborative, mn.org.
And then we have been running the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. So if anyone is thinking, or if you know a loved one,
Yes,
seek help, call the number, and,
Yes.
and there's people that can help you.
yes.
Well, Dr. Pentecoff, it's been wonderful to have you with us.
It's
And
great to be here. Thank you for having me.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that awareness, and hopefully we
Yeah.
save lives with that. Then
Wonderful. Thank you.
we'll be back with more right after this.